Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm doing another video based off my new series, The Quiet Revolution, how Islam has transformed my daily habits and routines. And today, this video is called The Ripple Effect, how basically the impact of embracing Islam on my life, my relationships, and my sense of purpose. I guess in a nutshell, everything's changed, like flip side 180 degrees. I guess I have a new perspective on virtually everything, with the perspective of there being a life after death and a reward for good actions. Everything that I do is inspired by this sort of eternal perspective, I guess. And I guess the reality is that everything's probably a lot harder before, when you're not really living for a purpose. Everything is sort of all about yourself, whereas when you live for a greater purpose, for a reward in the akhirah, you do everything, I guess, for a sense of selflessness. And it's a big change. Like I said, flip side 180 degrees, different direction completely. And I would say I'm a lot more satisfied for it. And anyway, I'll get started in a few points. So basically, my embracing Islam has basically gifted me with a great sense of patience, of sabr. Basically, when we know that there's a reward for good actions, we become a lot more inclined to carry the weight of patience with a lot of our dealings, because we don't necessarily look for immediate reward. We kind of delay our satisfaction for a later time. And this allows us to be a lot more patient and a lot more forbearing, especially with family, but with friends as well. And it's big. And empathy as well, in a sense. So I guess my take on this is that Islam cultivates the heart. So the more we practice Islam, the stronger and the more capacity our hearts have to care. So I care a lot more for my family members now, and for my friends, and even for people that I don't know too well. It's a big shift. I've always cared, but I guess the capacity to care for friends and family has become a lot greater. I care for their well-being, not just whether or not we have a good time when we hang out. And I want the best for them as well. And I guess with the capacity that I have as a human, I guess I try my best to do the best that I can. So that's a big shift, patience and empathy, grounded in Islam. And I guess my general interaction with family and friends, I guess when it comes to family, I really, really would love for them to somehow see how Islam could improve their lives. Like, I know there's a big teaching in our Quran that says there's no compulsion in religion, so we can never force it on them. But that's always a perspective that I have. For me, I'm always trying to give the best opinion that I can give of the religion, and it's up to them whether they take it on or not. But it's always up to me to give that good impression as well, I guess. And exactly the same thing goes for friends. Like, I guess I am a lot more strong when it comes to my relationships with friends. My sense of right and wrong is a lot more grounded, and I'm not as pushy, which is good. And I guess it's enriched the friendships that I have. I can get along with them from a position of strength rather than from a position of being somewhat in need, and it's a big shift. So that's good as well. That's how patience and empathy have improved my interactions with family and friends. Now, another thing is discovering a deeper sense of purpose in work and in hobbies, viewed through a spiritual lens. So, I mean, when I wasn't practicing Islam, I was, I guess, very, very much driven by the present moment. I was, I've said this in previous videos, but basically I didn't have a job, and I was just making music a lot, maybe spending a lot of time on the internet, watching videos, stuff like that. And I guess now that I feel like I have a duty to actually give to the world rather than to simply exist in it. I feel like I really want to do something meaningful, and by meaningful I mean something that's sustaining, something that has inherent good in it, and I see that as my place. I guess like I don't want to just keep on taking and taking and taking and see how much I can get from everyone else or from the world. I want to essentially give to the world and see how much goodness I can impart. So I know that a big concrete shift has been the fact that I am a student of business, and I see this goal as being very, very much tied in with the values of reward and patience and sacrifice, all these kinds of things. And without my grounding in Islam, I'd probably be very impatient. I probably wouldn't want to work so hard, and I would always see how much I could get from the world rather than how much I can actually give. And that's a big difference. Now with hobbies, I don't have too many hobbies, but probably my two big ones would be exercise and music. I know with exercise, I used to go to the gym quite a lot when I wasn't practicing Islam. I would it'd almost be a second home. The gym, I would spend hours and hours, maybe 6 to 10 hours a week, working out and putting on muscle, and I mean that's a very good thing. I don't know whether it's the fact that I'm a bit older now. I don't really have the same drive that I would have when it comes to working out. But I guess the difference is that now I guess I see the long term thing. I'm looking for more sustainable goals such as health and well being. Maybe just general feeling good. Whereas I guess before it was the same things, but I guess I have the goal in mind that I'm going to be doing these things for the rest of my life. So it's got to be a sustainable thing. So I still work out, I still go to the gym, and now I kind of take it a bit more of a slow pace in the sense that slow and steady is the best way to go. And I love it. I would say with my it's just part of being a human, really, keeping in shape. But it's more of a sustainable thing now rather than something that I'll do maybe to get a high. I'll do it just because it's a good thing to do, and I'll keep a long-term vision in the process. So whether or not I ever step up my goals and say, look, I want to bench press so much or run so far or compete in a competition or whatever, I can do all these things in the future, but in the meantime, I'm just focusing on consistency. And I know that as an Islamic principle, we're taught that consistency is one of the best things when it comes to the deeds that we do. So that's it with exercise. And with music, I mean, I know there are some teachings on whether music is whether it's permissible. For me, I view it as a cure for like things I've said in the past, for loneliness, for stress, for just general unhappiness. Maybe it really does help me to dissolve these feelings. I like to play the guitar. I have a little flute that I like to play sometimes as well. just for fun. And yeah, basically, it's another thing that I like to do. Now, I guess the difference between now and then, I used to play for hours and hours and hours, and I loved it. It would kind of be like my meditation time, and I would actually do it before I went to bed as a way to calm myself down in order to have the peace of mind in order to sleep. Now, since I've taken Islam back into my life, getting to sleep at night is never an issue. I can nod off within 30 seconds. But I guess music for me is more of it's a short-term thing. It's not necessarily like a big, enormous thing in my life, but I still like to do it. I still like to listen to some music. And for me, it's just a way of getting through the day, just a way of revitalizing, and a way of just getting a bit of a buzz, I guess. I quite like it. But I just don't do it so much. And that's probably the big difference with those two hobbies. Maybe they used to be enormous parts of my life. Now, I guess my life is a bit more grounded in responsibility rather than doing these things that are necessarily like crutches or supports for living a healthy life. I'm more focused on, doing things that are going to give me more duty. So that's that. And through a spiritual lens, I guess, these things, I'm always aware that, like, when we're exercising, we're sort of preparing ourselves to become stronger. And I don't need to really talk too much about the importance of that. Everyone knows why it's important to be strong in your mind and your body, and in all senses, it's just good to be well-rounded and balanced. With my music, I guess in a way it's me trying to be a bit more moderate. If I were to be 100% online with following the Sunnah and following the Quran all the time, I think I'd be very depressed. I wouldn't have much to do, and I wouldn't have much to be happy about. So I guess me doing a bit of music is a way of me trying to actually be moderate as a person, to say, look, it's okay if you do some things that aren't, exactly halal, so to speak. And I think it's good to maybe have a bit of breadth in your understanding of how we live our lives. So that's that. And the last thing that has changed in my life, my relationships and my purpose, I have basically an ongoing journey of self-improvement and learning driven by the Islamic principles of seeking knowledge. Now, seeking knowledge is probably the most important thing as a Muslim, because if we have knowledge of what is and what isn't okay, of what we should be doing, how we should treat certain situations, it's like we become empowered. But without this knowledge, we can become kind of pushovers, or we can become judgmental. We can be a bit hypocritical. If we think that we can judge people by a certain standard, whereas in our own lives, certain things might not quite be up to speed ourselves. So having knowledge to start off with, but also seeking knowledge and understanding at the same time that we don't actually always have all the answers, that it's important to keep on seeking. These are all very, very big parts of my, I guess, the change that's happened in my life. I've always been quite bright. I've always been quite smart, but it's just how I've applied my knowledge, how I've applied myself, has probably changed. Flip side again, 180 degrees. I'm not necessarily just sitting around telling everyone how much I know. I'm actually looking for answers and then sharing as I go, rather than basically, stopping my search, I guess. So that's a big thing. And self-improvement and learning as well. I mean, self-improvement is probably one of the biggest things that we can do as humans. I think the human who doesn't improve is the human that's given up, and it's something that we all need to do, right? And learning as well, like, I guess so. This can be learning life lessons as well as learning in an academic sense. I think the learning as in a sense of learning lessons in life is probably more important than just learning stuff from books. Although we can learn life lessons from books as well. Let's not get confused here. But I guess the fact that the good Muslim is one that's always turning to God is a big thing, and the fact that we're all necessarily on a journey, either towards paradise or towards hell, kind of keeps everything in perspective, because we all should be striving towards a good ending. And I guess for me, I like to be the kind of person that's always learning from my mistakes and always striving to reach a good goal. So that's everything that I have to share for today. Patience and empathy, improving my interactions with family and friends, discovering a deeper sense of purpose in work and hobbies viewed through a spiritual lens, and the ongoing journey of self-improvement and learning driven by Islamic principles of seeking knowledge. So this has been my video for today, the ripple effect, my life, my relationships, and my purpose. So stay tuned for more. I have one more video in the series. The next one will be maybe today or tomorrow. And hopefully everyone's enjoying the show. So thank you very much, and stay tuned for more.